Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Courtney and my channel is all about connecting with crystals, learning about their metaphysical benefits, and really just becoming aware of this unique energy that's available to all of us. So thank you for joining me. Today's video, I'm so excited to share with you House of Intuition's Crystal Grid Collection. If you are a returning subscriber, you know that I have such a love for creating crystal grids. It is definitely part of my spiritual routine. I was so grateful to receive these crystal grid boards from House of Intuition, and I'm even more eager to share with you my experience using these 4 unique crystal grid boards. I really want to give you an inside look as to how to use these boards and really just dive into the quality and detail that goes into each board. I truly have not seen anything like this. These grids are so beautiful. So without further ado, let's dive into today's video. So for those of you out there that are not familiar with crystal grid work, crystal grids act as a tool to guide energy, intention, and purpose into our life with crystal energy. When you're feeling like you need an extra push towards a goal, or maybe you want to spice up your manifestation practice, crystal grids can make a really big impact with your ritual. Another reason why crystal grids are so beneficial is that they really do aid us in building a stronger connection with our crystals. After creating a crystal grid, you can quite literally feel that energy transpiring into your life. It's a really fun way to use crystals with intention. Now, what's so sweet about House of Intuition's crystal grids is that they are designed with a specific intention in mind. So each grid that I'm going to show you has a specific intention that you can then personalize with your desired outcome. So let's see what we got. This collection includes the Creativity Crystal Grid, the Prosperity Crystal Grid, the Love Crystal Grid, and the Higher Self Crystal Grid. When looking at the packaging, you see from the front the crystal grid, and then when you flip it over to the back, you get some really awesome information about the specific grid, kind of like some tips that are included about the grid. House of Intuition has this really down with their products. They explain everything so well, so you really know exactly what to do. When opening up the packaging, you see right away a well-detailed how to activate the grid, how to cleanse and charge crystals, and what pairs well with this specific grid. They really go above and beyond with making this ritual super special. Flipping over the packaging, we see another well-detailed how to assemble the grid, how to get your energy ready before assembling the grid. Everything you need to know is right here. It's very, very helpful. I love this aspect with their products is that everything is so detailed and right there for you. And then this is what really impressed me. Depending on the grid that you choose, there's even more information on what crystals to use. I love that they have so many different crystals that you can pick from to kind of like help you narrow down what crystals you want to use in the grid. I really love the specific mantras that go with each grid. They have a little mantra for activation, which I think is super unique and really awesome. And they also go ahead and explain, the sacred geometry that is used in each grid, which I think is really helpful in understanding, how the grid holds so much power. So depending on the intention or the energy that you're trying to call in, you can really pick which grid is gonna best suit that. So now I'm going to share with you how I used each of these grids, what crystals I used, and what intention I was calling in for each grid. So the first grid that I experimented with was the Creativity Crystal Grid. It was funny because when this grid came into my life, I was working on my sacral chakra, so I really felt called to continue that work with this grid. I mainly used lower chakra grids, and really my intention was just to help me build a strong sacral chakra. So now I'm going to transition over and show you how I made this grid. Starting with the center stone, I chose yellow fluorite, followed by some sunstone and black obsidian. And then when it was time to place, those 6 main crystals, I started at the top of the triangle with a Picasso jasper, then red jasper, and tiger's eye. And then for that bottom triangle, I started with malachite, then carnelian, and orange aventurine. Once the crystals were placed and I felt like it looked good, it felt good, I went ahead and activated my grid by reciting the mantra. And if you feel called to, you can definitely use a crystal wand and activate your crystal grid that way, whatever your preference is. This crystal grid was very effective. I could literally feel this energy just rushing through me and rising up. I really felt like this grid came to me at the perfect time because I felt so much motivation with my work projects. I definitely could feel like a fire energy like consistently. It was really awesome. I definitely recommend this grid if you are a creative, if like your work life kind of depends on your creative flow, or you need to be able to be quick with thinking of ideas or problem solving. I would say this grid is definitely for you. So this next grid, I think this was my favorite grid with how it turned out, and that is the prosperity grid. So for this grid, I did a little ritual out of it as we were entering into Taurus season. My moon's in Taurus, so I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do a ritual tonight. I had to be a little extra. So I chose to do this prosperity grid, which kind of syncs with that Taurus energy. You know, Taurus is very like money, abundance, security, prosperity. So I was like, you know what? This is absolutely perfect to do tonight. My intention for this grid was really just calling in abundance. I just wanted to feel abundance in my life. And I really do love the way that this grid turned out. So for my center stone for this grid, I chose pyrite. Pyrite is one of my favorite stones as a center stone, so it was quite perfect for this grid. Then I chose to go with some citrine and some small moss agate chips. And then starting off that first triangle, I chose garnet, and then green tree agate and labradorite. Then for that bottom triangle, I started with citrine, then jade, and then green aventurine. I decided to light a green candle for this ritual. So as I recited this mantra, I had a green candle going, and I really felt like I was totally preparing for the cosmic season ahead. I feel like pairing this grid with other House of Intuition products will really intensify, your ritual. Pairing it with their abundance candle or their money candle, maybe their prosper magic dusting powder, will really just enhance a money ritual or abundance ritual. I really liked incorporating a candle with this grid. Alrighty, and the next grid I'm going to be sharing with you is the love grid. You really can't go wrong with calling in love. Love is so universal. You can call in love for self-healing, self-love, love for a partner, love to mend a broken heart. Maybe you want to do some heart chakra work. You really can't go wrong with love. So for me personally, I chose to really call in self-love and self-healing with this grid. I started off this grid with a rose quartz tower, followed by some really small peach moonstone, some pink Himalayan quartz, and some more rose quartz. I started off with some desert rose right at the top of my triangle, followed by some rose quartz again, rhodonite, and then at the bottom of my triangle, I chose pink tourmaline, rhodochrosite, and morganite. So I chose to have this grid in my bedroom. I feel like there's a lot of self-talk in the bedroom, so I felt like activating this grid and keeping it in my bedroom would be a really good fitting spot for it. It was a nice reminder, getting ready in my room, catching myself in the mirror and stating a self-love affirmation, just getting some good self-talk in the bedroom and just feeling that good energy. So I really, really loved the mantra that was associated with this grid. I wrote it on a sticky note and put it on my mirror because I wanted to keep reminding myself of this mantra, and I would love to share it with you right now. The beauty of the divine shines through me. I am here to share the quality of my heart with those who value and honor it. I am unconditionally loved and cherished just as I am. I think that is so beautiful and such a good mantra. So that in itself really made me feel good while this grid was activated in my room. Alrighty, so the last grid that I'm going to be sharing with you guys is the Higher Self Crystal Grid. I loved using this grid on the night of a full moon. You can definitely use this grid on the new moon as well, but we were approaching a super full moon in Scorpio, and I was like, you know what? I gotta do this, and I incorporated it into my full moon ritual. The intention with this grid was really to just tap into my higher self and feel that energy, that magnetism just flow into my life. So for this crystal grid, the center stone I chose was a selenite pyramid, followed by some really small pieces of kunzite and some clear quartz little dots. And then starting at the top of my triangle, I chose apophyllite, celestite, and sodalite. And then for the bottom of my triangle, I chose rainbow moonstone, blue lace agate, and lapis lazuli. I let this crystal grid charge out in the moonlight overnight, and I really do feel like the next morning when I went to pick it up and move it to a new spot, it just felt so good. It definitely felt like there was this high energy radiating out of this grid. I think this is a wonderful addition to add in your moon rituals. I know for me, I'm definitely going to be incorporating this grid in my new moon rituals and my full moon rituals. I hope this video was informative for you guys to see an inside look at these beautiful crystal grid boards from House of Intuition. I will definitely link their website and where to purchase these boards in my description box below. House of Intuition really has the best products. They're one of my favorite spirituality stores, and I'm honestly just so grateful to be collaborating with them in this video. I'm honestly so grateful. Alrighty guys, so that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this video and want to see more crystal grid content in the future, let me know by liking this video. I would love to know which crystal grid is your favorite out of the bunch. I know for me, I really connected with that prosperity grid, but honestly, I really love the way all of these grids turned out. So let me know which one was your favorite in the comments below. If you are new here, I would love it if you subscribed. Come on and check out some of my other videos. Thanks again for hanging out, and I will see you in my next one.